The Icarus Precision Ace for the Echelon. Let's check it out. Now, we recently reviewed the Ruger RXM with the Icarus Precision, and it definitely transformed everything. I mean, it made it a whole new firearm shooting experience. And with the Echelon, you're going to get the same. Plus, they have other options as well for different guns. But if you're really looking to upgrade in a major way, the metal frame, the texturing on the grip, and just the quality, the Icarus Precision is just top notch. And we want to give Icarus a big thank you for sending the Ace grip module for the Echelon for this review. All right, guys, we're taking the Echelon from Springfield Armory. This is the full size. This is an incredible handgun. I love all the ergonomics. I love the slide cuts. Great flat face trigger. The texturing is excellent, and it's all polymer. But one thing that Echelon has, though, is their chassis system. And because of that, we can use one of the Icarus Precision Ace grip modules. And this is for the full size. I believe they do make it for the compact as well. So we're going to trade this out. This is in the FDE color, but it really looks more like a bronze. Comes in a really cool green, black, and gray. Now, because of YouTube, we're not going to be able to show the installation, but we are going to have a separate video on our website at Suits Gear, and you can check that out, the full installation. And that'll also be on GetZone. All right, guys, we have the Icarus Precision Ace grip module, and this is for the Echelon from Springfield Armory. The Echelon has been an excellent handgun, and here is the compact model. It's the 4.0. This is just one of those guns that, to me, is one of my favorite polymer striker fire pistols, mainly because the grip is very well done. I love the texturing. The slide serrations are cut into the slide. They're beefy, they're chunky, but they don't add to the slide. I like that. And this little grip at the back where it just gives you some leverage to be able to rack that slide. So the Echelon itself is fantastic. But one of the cool things about the Echelon is it does have the chassis. Now, of course, your SIGs have the chassis, whether it's the P320 or the P365. And the P365 is Icarus's most sold modular system. But this allows us not only to change grips from the Springfield Armory, which they're going to offer different grip sizes for each of the different pistols, but it allows you again to go with something completely different. And I'll tell you guys, this transforms the way this gun shoots. It is incredible how that aluminum grip shell really makes a huge difference. And we really noticed that when we did the RXM from Ruger, and this is the Icarus grip shell as well. Guys, I like the Magpul grip that they included and that collaboration. But man, you put on one of these Icarus and it totally changes everything. And so we're going to take a look at the Icarus and some of the features to it. Now, we can't do the installation here on YouTube, but you can go to Suits Gear and we have a full installation there where you can see how it fits in it. But it's very simple because, again, it's just the chassis that fits into the grip module, and you have to put in your mag release and then just set it into the frame. So it's a really cool system. Now, first off, let's go ahead and drop our magazine. Of course, it takes your standard OEM magazines. This is for the full size. It's a full-length grip, and then the gun is empty. Now, this is a 7075 T6 aluminum. This particular model is their FDE, which is kind of really more of a bronze gold color. It's definitely different, but it's absolutely beautiful. But it does come in the black, it comes in an OD green, and it comes in a gray finish. So you have some different options. They have what they call their 365-degree grip texturing, which is all around the grip, and it is very well done. Has these small diamond little pyramids, and it is extremely grippable, but not painful. And when you grab it, you feel like you've got a lot of confidence. Also, we have a beaver tail that comes up, so that just takes the recoil and it spreads it out against the web of your hand. And it definitely makes a huge difference. The 1911s, when they first came out with that, it made a big difference. And I used to do a lot of competitive shooting, and man, without that beaver tail, you just didn't quite have the control that you do with it. And then they have expanded the grip with a little bit of a hump, and it comes in together where your thumb and your trigger finger come together. And so it gives it a little bit of space, again, just to have a little more tighter control. Now, they also have included this gas pedal, is what I like to call it. And this just allows you to get your thumb and rest it right here, and it's textured, and man, it'll hold to it. On the other side, it just has more of a memory pad. So you take your finger, trigger finger, gives you a place to put it when you have your finger out of the trigger guard, which you should do as soon as you point it away from the target. We have 4-slot Picatinny rail. You're still using your standard takedown lever, you're still using your mag release, and it's ambidextrous on either side. We have a really nice undercut here at the bottom of the trigger guard, but it's double undercut, and this is textured, and the front is textured, and it is skeletonized. But again, with the chassis system, you're using the exact same Echelon trigger. Here, with the slide stop, you have a fence, just kind of a little bit of a guard, and we have our serial number that comes through right here where you can see the chassis through the frame. The magwell is beveled, but you can get extended beveled magwells that Icarus offers, and it will fit the frame, and that's just an option. But man, these mags go in really well with this bevel already, and you have the beveling on the magazine. But again, it does take any of your OEM mags. Now the slide on the Echelon has been very well done. I mean, they're very chunky slide serrations, but you'll notice that they are actually into the slide. They don't come out. They don't extend the width of the slide. And it makes it really very narrow. So it's really easy to grab front and back, and we have this cocking shelf, to me, that really just helps when you're doing those mag changes and you're racking the slide. And of course, it is optics ready, and we have that U-notch at the back that really shows up well in white, and then we have a tritium bead at the front with a green circle around it, which really shows up extremely well, makes it very fast to shoot. But this really calls for an optic, which before we changed the chassis out, we did have an optic on here. And then here is the original grip shell. And this really adds about 4 ounces to the firearm with the aluminum. And one of the things about polymer, it's great, it flexes, and you know, guys, there are so many different options of polymer striker fire pistols out there. It's really nice to be able to bring in something that completely transforms the gun, and a lot of people are going to those metal frames. Now, on the Echelon, it's a hammer forged barrel, it's a forged slide, so this really holds up extremely well under any conditions. And then you put it on this grip shell, and I'm telling you guys, the ACE module is just, it really does transform the way this gun shoots, and really for the better. And really, when you compare it to the Ruger RXM, there are some differences. Of course, one of the things is the controls are a little different on your RXM. And this is taking that tried and true Glock design, and you're putting it on a metal frame. And because Ruger had the foresight to put in a chassis system, it just allows for this to go into different frames. Now, one of the things about the Echelon is that Springfield Armory is offering different grip shells. And you can change this out to a shorter dust cover, which will allow for the 4.0, or you can even get some of the shorter grips for the Echelon. But with the Icarus Precision, they're offering a full size, and then they're offering just a dust cover cutback, so you can put the 4-inch barrel slide assembly on the Icarus, but then it's still going to have the full length. So it's going to be more like an X model. And again, you're using the same mag release, but otherwise everything else is in the chassis and it just fits down into the frame. It's a very easy installation. Of course, we do have the video that demonstrates the installation. Now, weight on the Echelon with the Icarus Precision chassis, it's 30.32 ounces. Again, that's about 4 ounces heavier than your standard Echelon. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo. all made in the USA, one of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. Also, we really appreciate our little loaders saving our thumbs. Guys, I'll tell you, polymer, I love polymer frame pistols, but going back to this aluminum chassis, man, this thing shoots really sweet. All right, guys, we're testing out the Icarus Precision for the Echelon. And the Echelon itself is a great handgun. I mean, it's a very shootable handgun. I love the grip. I love the way it shoots. But when you add that aluminum Icarus Precision chassis, it totally transforms this handgun, and I mean for the better. The texturing on it is just all the way around. I mean, you definitely have a lot of control over it. Also with this shelf at the end, man, you can hold that down, that gas pedal, and you can really keep that muzzle flat. All we have to do again is just change out that chassis. So otherwise you have that same sight picture, you just have a different grip. And it's smooth. You know, the one thing about a polymer striker fire is it has really short rails. With this, you've got more full rails going back and forth. It just really glides. The slide to frame fit is noticeable. You just feel like you have a lot of control. And this grip is molded in a way that just really fits into your hand. And so that also adds to a lot of confidence when you're shooting it, and again, that texturing. Here at the bottom, got a nice mag well, so able to get those mags in really fast. But overall, I really like the Icarus Precision chassis. They're not cheap, but man, they really, again, transform the handgun. I mean, I'm serious, that control, especially that little gas pedal, it doesn't stick out too much. Doesn't really take away from the look and the slimness of the gun, and yet it gives you a place to put that thumb. And it is textured the same as your grip. What do you think?
I love that. I love the grip. Fits really nice in my hand. I love the metal feel. It just feels a lot more solid than that plastic or that polymer.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It changes the whole profile.
That little finger groove right there, I love that. I feel like I can get full control and just kind of push it down and manage that recoil. I really love that.
Right.
I love that.
All right, we're going to disassemble the firearm, drop your magazine, check the chamber. The gun is empty. Just like your standard Echelon, bring your slide back into slide lock, take this lever and just turn it down 90 degrees, and then drop your slide. You don't have to pull the trigger. And then, of course, recoil spring and your barrel, which is typical. With the chassis, we can take this out of the grip shell, but we're not going to. Again, you can watch the installation, but really this, just wiggle it and it pulls it out, and then you can pull the chassis right out if you need to clean it. But really, for basic maintenance, this is all you need to do. And you can kind of see where the chassis fits inside the frame. It is very simple to do. I mean, this chassis was made to such precision that it allows for this just to fit in. And for reassembly, we're going to drop in our barrel, take our recoil spring and guide rod, and then just bring it back over the frame. Put it in slide lock, bring your lever up, drop it, test for function, and we're back in business. Now, keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The Ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. Retail price $399.99 on the Icarus Precision website. There are some different distributors that do carry these, so sometimes you can get a better price from those sites. And then if you get different colors, sometimes that can up the game as well. What are some pros and cons? First off, this does just transform the handgun. Shooting it with the Icarus frame, of course, just the texturing alone. It's very aggressive. You can get a good grip on it. With the cocking shelf here, or the shelf where you can put that finger and just get that high ride grip, that makes it nice. The beaver tail, the undercuts on both the under the trigger guard and right here, it just allows for this to be, it just gives you a lot of confidence. Of course, with the 4-slot Picatinny rail, which you're going to get on your standard Echelon. But some people think that this may be a little bit too aggressive. So, you need to test it out, see if it is for you. But honestly, I've had some very aggressive polymer texturing, and it can be a little bit much. This, to me, it just has that feel to it that when you just wrap your hand around it, it just feels solid. Ambidextrous mag release, of course, is still incorporated, and of course then you have just the Echelon itself, which is proven to be an excellent firearm. The price could be a con. I mean, you're adding up to $400 to the price of the original gun. But there's a lot of firearms out there that have taken it up to the next level, and they can be extremely expensive. So again, it's just about your personal preference. If you like the Echelon the way it is, you love the polymer, which, to be honest with you, I do. I like it just like it is. But once you add this grip shell to it, it just really changes the game. And it does. It shoots like a completely different firearm. One thing I didn't mention is that Icarus does offer a couple of tungsten weights that you can put at the end of the barrel here just to mitigate the recoil, make it very fast, and that just gives you some other options. They do offer a number of different models, just like the RXM, and for the number of SIGs, and of course with the SIG P365, it's one of their most popular. But anything that has a chassis, you're going to be able to use it typically with your Icarus. You can go with the full length slide with 4.5-inch barrel, or they also offer the shorter dust cover that you can add the 4.0, and then you'll still have the full grip. So it'll be more like an X model with the full grip and the shorter slide. And they may be offering other models as well in the near future. But guys, again, one of the things about these handguns that have the chassis system, you can change these out with different offerings from Springfield Armory, or for that matter, even with the Ruger RXM. And so it gives you a lot of options. But then with that chassis, it just gives us more doors that have opened, and with this aluminum chassis, again, it just changes the whole feel of the gun. So, you just have to decide what is your preference. If you want to step it up a notch, you can go with it. But honestly, the Springfield Armory Echelon, whether you get the 4.0 or the 4.5-inch model, these are excellent firearms. So guys, if you want to take it to another level, the Icarus Precision frames for whatever you choose just transforms the firearm. Yes, they're a bit pricey, but it definitely gives you an incredible shooting experience. And I highly recommend, if you've never shot one, to try it. And again, a big thank you to Icarus Precision for sending the ACE grip module for the Echelon. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Icarus Precision ACE grip module for the Echelon. In fact, only guns that have the chassis system are going to be able to be used That's not cool. I don't like the way that sounds, don't like the way that is, don't like the way that does, don't like none of that. The Icarus Precision, the Icarus. Aggressive slide serrations. You have, okay. And again, a big thank you to Icarus Precision for sending the other chassis systems. So check out Icarus Precision.